welcome you back. That was Julie Owens. She's a member of Parliament in Northwest Wales.
Not South.
Not South Wales. Yes, and that's her take on the importance of the mother language. All right, let's come back to our panel in the studios this afternoon. Let's start with Mr. Adedeji Tana, because you are the president of the Yoruba language,
Yes.
you know, and all that. So let's talk about the importance of this day.
Fine. The one I said so much that I will just add a little. You know, language is so important. I won't deceive you. But as for today, that we are celebrating this International Modern Language Day all over the world, what it means is that, you know, UNESCO recognizes all languages apart from the major ones being spoken now. We have over 7,000 different languages.
The world over.
World over. But out of this, about 80% of this may go into extinction in the next few generations because of the negligence. You know, it's so important because without language, no country in the world can develop. You cannot develop with any people's language. That is other people's language, except your own language. What it means is that, you know, for example, you know, majority of our people, especially in Africa, we are farmers, and majority of us reside in the
hinterlands, yes, the villages and all. Yeah.
That is where the major economy something comes from. If you want to get this, even the oil we are using in Nigeria now, you don't get it in the town, but you go into the interior village. The language they understand there must be spoken to them in order for you to get the right thing. Let me give you as an example now. You can't come to my village without understanding the local language be spoken there and talk to them in English. I want to get something tangible out of it from there. Unless you speak to them in the language they will understand.
So being able to converse in your mother tongue also can boost the economy. That's what we're talking about. Okay.
Exactly. And now let's bring in the councillor, since you're closer to the grassroots. Yes, now. So what steps? Fine, it's actually a good one that Lagos State have taken it more or less like compulsory in schools to actually speak Yoruba, I guess on Thursdays. So what else do you think we need to do to the grassroots?
You see, first of all, I will use this medium to commend the Lagos State House of Assembly for first going, you know, through the rigorous exercise of passing the bill and then sending it forward to the governor for his eventual ascension. You know, having said that, at the grassroots level, you know, before now, we have always had spelling bee, whatever, but those things has not been domesticated in our own languages. So now, part of those things that I'm working at is, you know, now that the issue of segregation about language in Lagos State has been settled from the angle of the law, it will be easy for me, because in every domain in Lagos State, you have mixed tribes. You know, the Hausas are in my constituency, the Igbos are there, the Ibibios are there, everybody, you know. But now it will be easy for me using that law as a backup to say, now I want to start with Yoruba language. So if I'm doing my own spelling bee or whatever competition that I want to do, or a debate, let it be in Yoruba. Then from there, the young ones, the primary school children, will pick a lot and it will give them pride. You understand? To say that, because your language is actually your identity. If you speak other people's languages, you speak English and all that, you are not from there. And one of my my younger brothers now, Olamide will say, showing Yoruba. You understand? The Englishman does not understand my own language. So why should I die trying to understand their own and leaving my own legacy to be watered down? And it even makes us feel inferior. So back to the question, those are the angles that I'm trying to work on as a representative of the people. And after starting with Yoruba language, then we can now see what other language in my own constituency. That is Agbala last one where I cover now. Agbala last one, what other language aside from Yoruba that I can? For real, the Hausa people are dominant in that area too. You know, there's a Sabo market under my constituency as well. So one can work on encouraging them too. And you know, those are the angles that I'm looking at working on.
All right, then now let's bring in the music, because I know that a way in which a lot of people get like pass message that they get to listen to, it has to be through music. So how has it been with language and music these days? Do a lot of artists want to sing in their mother tongue?
First, I must say that Nigeria is leading in the music of Africa right now. I run a music institute that we have students from about 13 countries who have come over the last year to study here. And when you ask them, why are you coming to Nigeria? Is it because of the music school? You don't have music school there. They say no, it's the industry for them to, what's the secret behind the success of people like D'banj, Two-Face, Dibia and the rest? They want to come to this industry to realize that. So, but you realize that Nigerian musicians, we do not know how powerful we are in setting the pace. Nigerian musicians are destroying the culture of Africa gradually, because the music coming from Nigeria is what people see around the world as African culture.
Exactly.
But take 10 biggest artists from Nigeria and sample their music. Does it represent the culture of Africa, of Nigeria?
Yeah.
You have things like Apala, High Life. If you go to Port Harcourt or Owerri and you see people have party there, if you're based in Lagos, you feel like you're in another planet. They play different kind of music. You go to villages, you hear all kinds of traditional music. But what you see on the media, what you see on television, what you see on YouTube is not representing Africa. So, and one of the greatest reasons why Africa is poor today is that we're selling the wrong thing to the world. Our biggest export is our culture. Last November, I was at the World Travel Market in London, and there were about 100 countries that were represented there. About 10 of them were showcasing their cultural music. Because of my interest in music, I visited the 10 stands, and the maximum I saw at each stand was about maybe 10, 15, 20. I have the video. When I got to Ghana, there were at least 2,000 people gathered at the Ghana stand, and I wasn't particularly excited about the Ghana stand because they were playing local African and dancing, and I was asking, what are people glued to here? So the African culture is electrifying. People see it in a different light. We commonize it, and that's why we are poor. We're selling the wrong thing to the world. Imagine if that was a show and they were to collect £10 per person. You know how much that stand would have made. So I think we will not even get out of poverty if we don't start to sell our culture to the world.
Very true. All right, now, in conjunction, the World Bank and UNESCO, carried out a study, and they found out that children who are being taught in their mother tongue, in their mother languages, do better, than those who are taught maybe in English and all that. And recently, also, Iran actually banned the use of English in their elementary schools and all that. Now, I think Lagos is gradually, we're not there yet, but we're setting the pace by signing into law the bill on the preservation of the Yoruba language and all that. But then somebody here raised a very important question, which I think should be like a follow-up to the bill that is being passed into law. Because at the end of the day, of what use is it if you are taught in your mother tongue and you do well in it, and then you get to the end of the road, which is like your workplace, and you are being discriminated because you cannot converse properly in English. Somebody is asking here, and he says, but I believe English is more essential than our mother tongue because people get discriminated even at their workplace. If you can't speak English, you are seen as being local or not learned. That is a good question. Let's react to that.
Well, it's a very vital observation. But let me start like this. You know, without having the foundation, if you want to build a house now, you must first of all lay the foundation.
That's true.
The foundation on which you can learn other languages is your mother tongue. I don't understand. I'm very sure the late Bafafunwa of late memory, our former minister, tried this thing in Oyo State during his time, around 1978. He gathered some people, some students together, started teaching them from the cradle to primary 6 level, Yoruba. All the subjects were taught in Yoruba. That particular year, the students from his school excelled in all, because what I'm saying is that if you understand your mother tongue very well, you will understand English. There's no way, because you know, we learn, especially the Yorubas, we learn from what we see. I don't understand. I'm a father now. If I want to tell my child to bring this cup, I will just say, Omo mi wa ba mu ife yi wa. This ife I'm mentioning, he is seeing it. Is that not so?
True.
He's seeing the ife. Ba mu ife to wa lohun yen wa. That is, get me that cup over there. But in English, if you tell a child that has not even understood what is ife in his life, and just get me that cup, he'll be looking at you. Cup. You don't understand what I'm trying to say.
I'm trying, and I understand what you're trying to say.
We learn by what we see. That is Yorubas for you. And our language is so full of culture, idiomatic expressions, you know, everything you can think about. We cannot talk for 5 minutes without adding one idiom or the other. So that is where our language is so supreme above all other languages. I can stand here to be corrected.
I see, Emmanuel, you wanted to say something on the issue of the workplace. Yeah.
I think the law will not go far, number one, because...
Really?
Yeah, I think it will not go far. The countries who have developed their languages, there's a different approach to it. First, Nigeria does not have a national language, and that's the problem. An average primary school in Lagos has got maybe 10, 15 people from different states and languages.
Yes.
I'm an indigenous of Lagos. I'm from Badagry. I have my
Your own language.
that's
That's
different
Of
from
course.
Yoruba. So the first thing we need to work at as a nation is even a national identity. Who is a Nigerian? What is the Nigerian language? And then, just like the Chinese have done, our textbooks will be written. If you're saying they should speak Yoruba in the schools, have mathematical formulas been written in Yoruba? Scientific formulas, can we put them into it? That's what Chinese did. That's what India is doing. That's what the Arab world is doing. You know, so if you want to entrench language, you entrench it into the system, into the education, into health service, our signage on the road, you know, different segments of the country. That's how to make language sink.
Exactly.
It's not just by it's not just about. So I think it's not going to. The first thing we need to do is to work on an identity. I think it is discriminational to be in Lagos and say Yoruba is the official language. If I was schooling in Port Harcourt and they say that to me that I should speak Ikwere or something, I'll feel let down. Nigeria is one country. What is our language? I feel the Pidgin English is more unifying. It's more unifying than the Yoruba language.
Thank you, my brother. I will agree to you to an extent.
To an extent, okay.
To an extent. Because let me tell you one thing. Our population at times is not helping the population of Nigeria. Although we are not up to China or whatever.
Or India.
Do you know there are some countries that if they give you a traveling visa for the next 6 months here, you are going to learn their language.
Yes.
They make it compulsory for you to learn their language.
So but what's the one for Nigeria? Which one do you learn?
Exactly. You know, we don't normally when we make a law like that, you know, we don't normally follow it to the end.
Implementation.
The implementation is the problem. There was a time in 1978, if I remember vividly, a man from Edo State started this Wazobia. He was the first person that mentioned Wazobia. Go and make your research. That is Wa for Yoruba, Zo for Hausa, and Bia for Igbo. He wanted to merge these three languages together and come out.
That's the
with a
first thing we need to do as a
But
nation.
no follow-up. The government, changing of government, this one will jettison whatever law has been
Previous
made before.
government that-
No,
yeah.
I want to
Continuity.
use my own. There's no continuity.
Continuity.
Okay.
So you are right to understand. You know, you have a unifying language.
I think there was a time when they were trying to propagate the Hausa language, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
At one point, they were trying to make the Hausa language like even the official language for.
And it's
for
funny.
Nigeria.
Okay,
Yeah.
Nigeria is
Yeah.
one of those few, one of the few countries in the world that has such a. Every other country in the world, there's one language,
language
that
that
they
is,
can.
you know,
Even in
yeah,
Ghana,
common to
I'm
everybody.
shocked when you move around Ghana.
Yeah.
It's people speaking and like, how do you also? There's one common
one common
Ghanaian
I guess
language.
Look at
it's
South
only
Africa.
pidgin that I
It's
believe
one-
that
Just like you
everyone,
said.
yeah, I guess it's
Just
only
like you said.
pidgin that everyone can still blend with.
So we need to
Alright.
take the pidgin English and now bring it home.
Yeah, you have
Add
something to
our-
say at the end.
Yes, I have a lot to say. You see, much as I would have loved to agree a bit with my brother, I would disagree. Totally. You know, Nigeria is an emerging state. We have a lot of things to settle. A lot. Our amalgamation in 1914
1914.
was not done by us. The people who did it just took Alera and Baba and said they should marry without their consent. And since then, some people have been trying to secede. Recently, it happened during this Buhari government. You understand? They have always been nipped in the bud by force or by fire.
Yeah,
To say
people always
Nigeria is
feeling
one.
like they're marginalized.
You understand?
Yeah.
Now, those issues are still there. But Lagos State is the #1 state in infrastructure and every other level you want
Socially,
to
economically.
use to measure development in Nigeria.
True.
So if Lagos State now feels like we are leading, let us continually make examples so that the bigger Nigeria can see reasons and follow. If it works in Lagos, they are borrowing the things that we have done in other parts of the country and it's working. So for the issue of language, we have just started. We can continually build on it.
Okay.
For instance, I said that I couldn't work on this thing. Do you know that my nickname, if you use my WhatsApp or something, now what you see is Omo Ebile, and that is to show that that's where I come from. As a politician, it is easy for me now to wear native anywhere I go, or even wear agbada. You understand? That is what our politics is doing to us. So gradually we will get there. A journey of 1,000 miles
Starts with
begins
a
with a step.
step.
So
Okay.
we will get there.
All right. Okay, we are all aware that the Lagos state government, is very serious about this issue of the preservation of the Yoruba language. Of course, I was following a discussion trend on social media where people were saying, does that mean that perhaps the governor, say maybe in Kano or Katsina, can also, pass the bill that Hausa language, will be like the official language of individual states, according to where your location, is in Nigeria. Will that not bring some sort of confusion at the end of the day, where I go to one part of Nigeria
And you need to learn.
I need to learn what kind of language is spoken in that part of the country, then I go to another part of the country, and anyway, let's ponder over that. We'll come back and talk about it.
Okay.
Let's go and see this clip. Not too long ago, the Lagos state government and the Lagos House of Assembly precisely, gathered prominent Nigerians together, and they had a summit on promotion of the Yoruba language in both public and private schools in Lagos State. Let's take that clip, we'll come back.
Àpérò yìí ni láti wá ojútùú sí bí ohun tí àlàkalẹ̀ ìwé àpilẹ̀kọ ìjọba àpapọ̀ lórí ètò ẹ̀kọ́ èyí tí a mọ̀ sí National Policy on Education yóò ṣe di mímúṣẹ. A ní láti jẹ́ kí ó hàn dé wípé èdè Yorùbá ti di kànńpá fún àwọn akẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ní gbogbo ilé ìwé wa yálà àti ìjọba tàbí aládàáni ní ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó.
Wọ́n ní gbogbo iléèwé wa àti tìjọba ní o àtàládàáni pé láàrin ọ̀sẹ̀ ó gbọ́dọ̀ níye ìgbà wọ́n máa kọ́ èdè Yorùbá níbẹ̀. Wípé dandan nílé náà àwọn òbí náà á láti máa kọ́ àwọn ọmọ wa ní èdè wa kí wọ́n lè rí i pé a gbé èdè yìí lárugẹ àti láti rí i pé èdè yìí kò parun. Gbogbo wa náà la láǹfààní láti káàkiri àgbáyé. Gbogbo ibi tá ti dé ibi tán ti ń sọ èdè wọn gbogbo bẹ̀ ló ní ìlọsíwájú àti ìdàgbàsókè.
Ìpè fún ìfilọ́lẹ̀ ọ̀tun àti àtúnbí àṣà àti ìṣe wa pàápàá jùlọ láàrin àwọn èwe ló mú kí ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó gbé ìgbésẹ̀ akin láti mú kí kíkọ́ èdè Yorùbá pọn dandan láwọn ilé ẹ̀kọ́ wa jákèjádò ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti ilé ẹ̀kọ́ alákọ̀ọ́bẹ̀rẹ̀ títí dé ìpele kẹta àkọ́kọ́.
Gbogbo yín lẹ wà ní ilé yìí ìdùnnú lẹ bàbá délé o ẹ tún yà àwọn ọmọ yín tán dálẹ̀ yìí ẹ tì wọ́n lẹ́yìn o ẹ wá fi àdúrà ran pírẹsidẹ́ǹtì Nàìjíríà lọ́wọ́ torí tí Yorùbá ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ pẹ́ nínú ìta wà yìí o àwọn tó dẹ̀ lu bọ́ọ̀mù náà ń ṣe kí ní kọ́lọ́ fún wọn sùúrù gbogbo àwọn ọ̀tá wa Ọlọ́run yí wọn lọ́kàn padà ní o èèyàn sọ pé kẹta sọ pé kọ́ pa ọ̀tá yín kú lẹ́ẹ̀bá ló ra bó sí wàhálà ní fún àwọn ẹ̀ ní wàhálà.
Iléèwé tó lórúkọ jù ní àgbáyé tó jẹ́ pé gbogbo wa là ń gbàdúrà pé kọ́mọ wa lè lọ kẹ́kọ̀ọ́ níbẹ̀ àwọn bíi Harvard àwọn bíi Cornell àwọn bíi Yale gbogbo wọn ni wọ́n kọ́ ẹ̀kọ́ Yorùbá wọn ò sì kọ́ ní alákọ̀ọ́bẹ̀rẹ̀ nìkan wọ́n kọ́ dé òkèèrè. Èmi náà mo ti gbìyànjú nínú ọdún 17 tí mo ti ṣiṣẹ́ yìí mo ti kọ́ Yorùbá ní iléèwé 6 èyí tó kún Cornell Yale bẹ́ẹ̀ la tún kọ́ ní àwọn iléèwé ìjọba tó jẹ́ mẹ́nuba eléyìí ni pé àwọn aráàlú ń gbìyànjú bẹ́ẹ̀ bá jáde sí gbòòrò ọ̀pọ̀ àwọn èèyàn wa ni wọ́n ń sọ Yorùbá tí wọ́n ń lo Yorùbá ṣùgbọ́n Yorùbá ní ọ̀nà fún ọ̀nà ọ̀run bó ti wù ká kúndùn èdè wa tó bó ti wù ká kúndùn àṣà wa tó tí ò bá sí ọ̀nà àti rí nǹkan mú lọlé nípa èdè náà a kàn ń gbìyànjú asán ni ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ òbí ló wo ọjọ́ iwájú ọmọ wọn wípé wọ́n bá ń ṣe ẹ̀kọ́ Yorùbá kí ni wọ́n ó fi ṣe.
Welcome you back from that. All right, that was the Lagos State Summit on promoting Yoruba languages in schools. And of course, we still have a lot of people who are contributing via SMS here. Mr. Ogun Ibitoye Joel from Akpa Badagry. We need to stop calling our Nigerian languages vernacular. Okay, that's a thought. Okay, please, we are begging. Please don't call the number. Okay, just send an SMS. This other one says, Omo Ibile, you are right. You don't have to copy the white man. All right. This one says, for the language, every family have a work to do by teaching their children. This other one says, implementing our mother tongue into our academic sector can only be possible if only we have one tribe in Nigeria. But in a situation where we have different tribes, how is it possible to do that? I think that's the issue you raised. Like publishing maths in Yoruba, when we have Hausa and Igbo, won't there be conflict? I think it also ties with the question I asked. You know? Yeah, so how do we settle this particular one?
Language is just one aspect of culture. I would rather say we promote culture.
Culture.
Of course, where you cannot drop language down if you're promoting, you know. Let's start by saying banks in Nigeria should wear natives 3 days of the week, you know, the staff, and make that compulsory. On a Monday, I wanted to do a transaction in Dubai, and when I entered, I saw everybody on Jalamia and that they are. I walked back. Yes. I turned back. I now asked guy. I said, "Sorry." They said, "Here is bank." He said, "Yes, it's the bank. I should go in." I said, I was shocked. So first, it has registered on my mind that these people are different from me. So banking is not about. So we've taken banking from Oyinbo. We've also taken the culture out and go to the banking and all that. Same thing with hospital. Yeah. We have. Can't we make our own hospital gown in Ankara? You know. I mean, so I think that's the way we would understand. It will sink deep down. Not just the language is the surface part of culture. Culture is extremely deep than language. So we should look at the total culture and embrace it. Which I think Lagos is doing gradually. They are painting the states,
To buttress your point, my brother, language and culture, the two go together. You cannot separate one from the other. I don't understand. Believe it or not, in your village, there must be a particular cultural something you do there that is so different from my own. In my own town, in my own village, we celebrate Odun Egungun, that is masquerade festival. The way we celebrate it here may be different from your, I don't understand. But everything, goes down to the problem of money. What I mean is this: you believe that if your son or daughter finishes at university level, if she or he doesn't know how to get employment in bank or whatever area, the person cannot work. I don't understand. Everybody is looking for white collar job. I don't understand. It shouldn't be like that. From school, know what you can do apart from seeking for employment. That is the major problem we have in this country. Be skillful. Find something to do that you can do with your hand. This music you are talking about, I won't deceive you, Nigeria is leading. Believe it or not. Nigeria is leading, especially our hip-hop guys. You want to talk about Davido, but go and check into their music. You will see a fractional part of our language, indigenous language, being used. And that is exactly what is promoting them. I don't understand. Because if you continue to sing in English, you can never be an English man. It's not possible.
But we're saying we want to see more or hear more
of the culture
of that.
Not just the language, also the types of music in Nigeria. Nigeria has over 1,500 different kinds of music.
More than that.
If you watch an average TV station today, can you say I've heard 10 in 1 week? You can't. Most of them are going into extinction.
Of course.
A lot of young
so
people,
the media also has a lot of work
to do
in putting
a vital role to play.
But let's talk about the home front in all of this. I like for us to talk about the home front because a lot of parents are becoming Westerners. They prefer for their kids to speak
English.
impeccable English. Yes.
Okay, you also need to.
Yes. Do you know the home front issue? The parent has a lot to do. This is something that happened personally to me. My kid goes to a private
obviously
school. So now she will come back, speak English. Then I started. I come and be like, no, Queen, what is this? This is Omintutu. And the mother will now come and say, no, Machi, come on, so
don't let why?
Are you the one paying or I'm the one paying? So one day,
division in the family already.
One day, my grandfather came. My grandfather was supporting the mother. He said, no, let her understand English first, then later she'll come to Yoruba. And I didn't agree. Do you know that today, that girl, 3 years old, she can speak both fluently?
Fluently.
Because the English is taught in the school. When she comes home, she will speak Yoruba with me. There is hardly a level of Yoruba that little girl does not understand. So the home front, the parent has a lot to do. And I have this to add. When I was in GS1, Ikorodu Grammar School, one of the languages that was part of the subjects I was studying was Igbo language. And I will recall that my Igbo teacher then taught us that something like, what is it now? She was now like, whatever. That is what is it now in Igbo. So the question of if I go to the Igbo land, maybe Imo or Enugu, if we had sustained those things that they were teaching us in the 80s while I was still a kid,
I will still understand because this is part of it that I still have in my head.
Exactly. You know, yesterday I was talking with Alero, and I was like, you know, while growing up, I recall there used to be, you know, a time belt on TV where languages were taught, you know, at different days of the week. Maybe Igbo today, Hausa, Tuma, I've forgotten what they call it, you know, different languages.
And even in schools, so we had literature books. We're talking about
yes, it helped. I remember my Alawiye, a lot of
my God.
A lot of the Shenyo Goshe, Murasi Shoremi, I learned all that in primary school. Till date, I still remember. The ta-ta-ta of Hausa I speak today, I learned during my youth service in Katsina, because you'll be given a handbook, you know, so that you can converse at least when you go to the market or so. And I found that I was interested in it, and I couldn't stop speaking Hausa even when I came back home, you know. So I think all these little things we used to do before, we should find a way to
bring them
back.
One of the things that happened is that the quality of government school, although it's coming back now, went down at the time. I've never been privileged to go to a private school. Primary, secondary, university, I went to public schools. And I came out sound. But can we guarantee that now? You know, so as long as people don't go to public school where some of these laws and all that are enforced, you also find the issue of language not really going down. So public school need to step up the quality of education to encourage more people. I mean, it's a lie to say that if a child is speaking Yoruba, I won't speak English.
No,
my father never spoke English to me once. Not once in my entire life. And I didn't even call my father daddy, but Bami.
And here we are today.
And today, when things are tough, I think in Yoruba. The language you think in determines how far you go. I think in my language. Because
if you want to pray,
there are some things that do not have interpretation, you know, in English. My father will say, you look at the home before you name a child. In English, it doesn't really make so much sense. You know?
Yes, charity begins.
When my mom drops any of those now, you understand what she's saying.
Exactly.
When she calls me and says, I will call the race on Juwura
and bread and butter and everything here in Lagos, Yaba area of Lagos, precisely. You know, that is the key of Yoruba and all that. You know, but I speak my language like 100% because my father made it a rule while we're growing up. You don't speak Yoruba in the house, you don't speak English. He speaks to you, not that he couldn't speak English. You know, he was working with white people that he could speak, but you don't speak that language in his house. He will talk to you in Ishan language, and God help you if you cannot understand or answer back. So you see, what happened was, while we were all grown and we were getting married one after the other, my uncles from the village will come to Lagos and they'll speak in Ishan and we'll respond. We could understand everything. And they were like, wow. Even can I be able to quote, like, children that were born here, like, how did you do it? So I give kudos to my dad. He made that a point, you know. And today, I think I speak passable English, you know. So, so teaching your child your language is a plus.
Excuse me, I found out one thing. I won't mention the universities. I went to about 3 universities. I wanted to make this film where there'll be graduation and everything. So I went in Lagos here. Do you know? For almost a week I spent in those universities. The English these undergraduates were speaking to themselves were not correct. Some are even talking, I won't even call it pidgin.
Yeah, so even the English you don't understand.
Yes.
Like slang. As if they are talking. So
it's true.
You look at the white result now in English. You go for the past 4 years now in Lagos. I don't understand. So where are we exactly going to?
Exactly.
You don't know the English proper.
You don't know
your mother tongue. You cannot even speak it
until we stop making it compulsory that if you have C.
In English, yes.
So when you say the child does not have C in English, will not go to university. Who will not speak English at home? English. I said why?
Even our local
children. By way of the law now, I mean, you can get into any state tertiary institution if you have a credit in Yoruba language.
Of course.
I think,
That's
yes. All right, let's go back to the
Illegal.
feedback platforms a bit. Daniel from Benin City says, it is good to promote our culture first. Then it will be easy for us to promote the language. Gradually, our language is going down and we need to bring it back to life. Many Yorubas are not even proud of their language. This other one says, I'm a Nigerian lady, traveled to Ghana for visit. See the way they dress to the office. Using their Ankara, I think it's called kente in Ghana. Using their kente to sew English dress. So I think Nigeria should do likewise, which is about the dress thing. I think when you come into Nigeria as someone coming from the outside, the aura,
the identity is
yes,
not clear. It's not clear.
Yes, I think that's where we should start from, like you rightly said.
From the airport.
Yes. Let the aura carry, okay, I'm in a different place now. This is Nigeria. Our dressing, okay, I think I have to practice what I'm preaching now.
So don't talk.
More of Ankara clothes loading.
As from tomorrow.
Yes. You know, like, let's promote the
our
culture.
culture,
All right, there's so many.
Now you don't even have to wear. You can sew the same thing now with an African.
Ankara.
So if this is
Great.
what you like, I love jacket. This is I think Woodin or something. You know, so I think that's what we should do more.
You can use batik.
And they'll be when you're outside the country and it's magical to them. They look at the material. What is this? Sorry, can I touch it? You'll be like, what is this Ankara now?
It's different.
Even the Oyinbos, I won't deceive you, they are now, apart from the people that are learning Yoruba language very fast now, in about 75 universities in America alone. If you Google it, you'll see there. So the irony of it is that in the next 10 years, these people may come back to be teaching our children this language. But mind you, you won't be paying them in Naira, but in hard currency. Those people will come back here if they
and bring our language back to us.
you.
Like they did with palm oil.
Exactly. Palm kernel.
Yes.
They
like
took
they
it
did with that.
to, you know.
Yeah.
So
Malaysia.
The government, the stability in government is another area.
There is an angle that I have to it that people may not find funny, you know, because all these things happened with the import of religions that were brought to us.
Okay.
My grandfather, 97 years old, told me that when he was young, when he was giving birth to, in Yoruba, there's something they would do on the third day.
Yes. Maybe a Kosejaye or whatever.
Thank you, sir.
Call
They
it
will
a
consult
Kosejaye.
the oracle, and the oracle will say, Alera will be her name. She will walk in the media house. She will do this, she will do that. And the parents will guide her. She will not eat this. She will not eat okra. Her star does not like okra. She will not eat okra. Everybody in the home will be eating okra.
Exactly.
She will not eat okra. They will follow it through, and when she's grown, they will tell her. She will follow it and she will be successful. Do you know that my grandfather was told that he's going to be a farmer? But while he was growing up, as a tough young man, he went to the island, he started transport business. He eventually had to come back, go back to the farm, to our village,
Start tilling the
become a
ground.
farmer.
Successful one.
And that was when he can build houses.
But
So do you think, okay, so you're actually talking about
of
religion coming on.
All these things, the
I
dressing.
doesn't agree with that.
You will not. The dressing, I said it's a weird angle to it. The dressing came with it. When they were coming,
Religion is the biggest force in
Yeah.
Nigeria.
They come in their suits.
Like, because right now, over the radio this morning on my way to the office, I listened to something whereby the Ekiti state governor actually had to bring the Meeti Allah guys, and they had to take an oath. They had to go the spiritual. Yes, do you understand? They had to go the spiritual way. So that's
With
why
Ogun,
the
that is
tension
God of
there
Iron.
is a bit calm.
If you
So this
is
issue we're looking at is gone.
very, very
So,
good.
you understand? Some,
Yes.
like on a passive note, at times they get to say, if most of our politicians get to take the oaths, the
Thank you.
spiritual with Ogun,
No, you choose now or Atara or what. Or with tongue.
They'll be sincere.
When it gets to that, I will never be a politician. I have hopes. Stop there, my people. When it gets to that. Okay, let's also, let's go back again and see how our viewers are reacting. This one says that Yoruba language is incomparable because it's like Asheoro. Read Psalm 35 in Yoruba. Also, some prayer points or evil spirits do not recognize English grammar.
Language, Yoruba language is the language being spoken in heaven. I tell you.
I get you. All right, so many. All right, this one says, God bless you all. I'm always happy with patience and alero based on each topic you treat. One thing today is culture works than language. Why based on discrimination? Because everyone wants his own language to be used. That one is from Mrs. Uthman. Thank you so much for sending that. Hello, presenters. I wish to add to what Lagos is trying to bring. I wish to add that what Lagos is trying to bring back is 100% okay, because most of the people have something like maybe forgotten where they come from. Okay. I think parents should also try to give their children a native name. Full native name, like me. I am native from a native of Ebira land from Kogi State, and his names are Maman Ohiare Shaibu. If I see the middle name there, it shows where I come from. You know, okay, he's talking basically about, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, our time is fast running. I think we have like 3 more minutes to go. Now, Mr. Tana, I know that every year there's always a theme, you know, for the celebration of the International Mother. What is this year's theme, and how is Nigeria, you know, commemorating this particular day?
Well, my own association, we've organized a sort of seminar where we gather some market women and men together and some students to tell them, to inculcate into them the importance of our language. That is one. Nigeria as a nation, you know, we've not really been trying this area. We've not been really trying. All we are saying, our focus now is on politics. And the problems that are happening in Nigeria, the Mieti Allah, all this, you know. But I believe that the awareness has started now. For example, with Lagos State government, with the law, they've started the awareness now. By next year, I don't think things will be like this again. Understanding will have increased among my people. So the theme for this year is I think diversity in linguistic. We bring, we count for development. That is, if a country wants to develop, you must take into cognizance the languages, the local languages. That's the area.
I think maybe next time we should take it more to the schools, because the little ones are actually the target. Comrade, counselor, sir, in your ward, how are you going to help, you know, in the propagating of our culture and language?
Like I said, I have actually had this in mind for a little while, but you know, you have to be sensitive in the things you do. I have Hausas in my ward. I have other cultural people out and tribes. So one has not been able to say, okay, as a Yoruba person, I should start with Yoruba. But then with this law, I was. In fact, if not for the fact that they will be having meeting, like tomorrow and next tomorrow. Yes. I should have a program with the schools that I have within my constituency this week. But by next week, we'll start the issues that I said about spelling bee and debates in Yoruba.
That's a good
one. You know, when you debate in Yoruba, it helps you to go home and do more research and ask your mom or your dad, what's the meaning of this?
What is this? Exactly. All right, our time is running. Emmanuel.
Yeah, I think we would not achieve so much on developing language and culture if the economy does not grow, if things don't get better. The average mind of a young person is on traveling abroad, maybe to the UK or US, a country that you're trying to go to or planning to run down to. You're always studying their culture, you know, you want to know what's happening there. So for us to have something tangible happening here, we have to grow the economy. Things need to get better. So Nigerians can be proud of Nigeria. How many Nigerians would even be on the streets of somewhere abroad and speak the language, because how are you perceived?
Yes.
So we need to work on all of that. For me, running a music school, culture is definitely a part of what you learn. The traditional part of African music is involved in what we do. Yeah.
All right, so we hope we'll just see like a better Nigeria, at the end of the day. So thank you so much. Our time is up. Thank you, Emmanuel Akpako. Thank you for coming. Thank you, Alagba. And thank you so much, Comrade Adeyemi Adeniran. Thank you for making it a good show. All right, we're actually supposed to talk about the not too young to run bill, because someone came out, a lecturer actually, and said the youths of Nigeria are not ready to take up leadership roles. But we'll visit that another time. Thank you again. Thank you, Alero.
Thank you, Patience.
Join us tomorrow at 12. We'll be discussing relationship issues according to social media. Have a nice day.